Shalom, I'm Rabbi Stephen Sachs. There's an old joke. Why did the Jews travel the desert for 40 years? Answer: somebody dropped a quarter. But in all seriousness, the Torah in this week's Parsha spends a lot of time talking about the journey of Bnei Israel, of the children of Israel. They traveled, they rested, they started, they stopped. In fact, to a large degree, the Torah is a book that speaks about the journey of the people. After all, the Torah ends before the journey is even complete. Moshe dies before the children of Israel enter the Holy Land, and the Torah ends. The story is picked up later on in Sefer Yehoshua, the book of Joshua, but the Torah itself ends before the journey is complete. What is the Torah teaching us? It's teaching us that life is about the journey. I recently read an article about Rabbi Harold Kushner, who's being honored for completing 50 years in the rabbinate. He's being honored at JTS, the Jewish Theological Seminary. Kushner explains that when he graduated rabbinical school, he had his mindset that he was going to become the rabbi of a 450 family unit congregation. A 1,200 family unit congregation, but instead wound up at a 450 unit congregation in Nantucket. He said to himself, okay, this will be my first congregation, then I'll move on, and I'll achieve my goal of having a larger congregation. But life threw Kushner a curveball, an unexpectedly, brutally difficult curveball. Kushner's son at the age of 3, Aaron, was diagnosed with a terminal illness. Kushner decided to stay in the Nantucket area because his congregation was extremely supportive, and they also had excellent medical care for his son. Then, unfortunately, at the age of 14, his son passed away. This is obviously not the journey that Kushner had wanted. Nobody would pick this journey, having a son who has a terminal illness and then losing him at 14 years old. It's brutal. It's devastating. But Kushner has made the most out of his journey. How? He's written extensively about why people suffer and how to deal with suffering. His famous book, Why Bad Things Happen to Good People, has been a national bestseller and has comforted millions of people who have suffered. We suffer too. Our life is full of curveballs, is full of stops on a journey that we didn't anticipate. Now, of course we should be proactive as much as we can. We want to try to plan ahead, set goals for ourselves, and reach goals. But sometimes life has its own way of working out. Things don't happen the way we plan them. Let me give you an example. Perhaps you're middle-aged and you have a parent who passes away unexpectedly. One minute they were healthy, they get sick, and then they're gone. It's devastating. It's going to take time to deal with this loss. But try to make the best out of a situation. Maybe that parent left behind some money for you. And you always said to yourself, I wish I had a better Jewish education. Well, take some of that money and use it to send your kids to a Jewish day school so they can get a better Jewish education. Or perhaps, with this tough economy, you've been laid off. It's miserable. Absolutely miserable, the stress of being laid off. But perhaps there's always another career you are interested in. Take this time to look into that career. Maybe it's time to go back to school or try to retrain so you can embark on a new career, a career which you will enjoy more. So let me conclude once again by saying, life is about the journey. Life will throw us curveballs. We can't plan for every eventuality. But when we're throwing that curveball, it's going to take time to recover. But try to make the best out of a situation. Make the best out of your journey.